Hello, gorgeous guests, and welcome to episode 3. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'm so pleased to have you back. This episode is the only episode so far that features another person that isn't just myself. I am talking to another human being. Not right now, obviously. This is the introduction, but when we get to the podcast. What also makes this different is that it's the first episode with a video feature, which I've been wanting to introduce from the get-go. However, it's been a lot of work trying to figure out audio, as well as editing, as well as lighting, as well as video. All of these different things take a lot of time and it's a lot of pressure, and I wanted to really focus on the content of the audio podcasts and make sure I was putting out something that I was happy with there before adding the video feature. So moving forwards, I'm probably going to stick to only using video during interview episodes, and the other episodes that just me will remain as audio on Spotify. Having said that, welcome to the YouTube community, and thank you so much for joining us here. Now, this episode was recorded at Boomtown Fair in August this year. I sat down in my friend Cam's truck and we had a good little chat in the midst of some absolute chaos that was going on around us. So the style of this episode is a little bit different to the other episodes that I've put out already. It's a little bit more fast-paced and it has an interview style to it rather than a slow conversation. However, we do still discuss some really good topics and we have a really nice chat. So I am excited to share with you my conversation with the one and only Cam Cole.
I am here with the one and only, the legendary Cam fucking Cole. How are we today, mate? It is the Sunday of Boomtown Festival. We've been here since like Tuesday, Wednesday?
I think so, yeah, Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, so how are you feeling today on the Sunday?
I'm feeling good. I didn't really go out last night, so I rested my voice and took a chill one with the missus. So, yeah, I'm feeling good today. I was feeling a bit ratty yesterday.
I feel like there's always like a day of a festival where you're just not in a good place. Like there's always one day out of the 5 or whatever where you're like, I can't deal with people.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
So, yeah, I'm glad you're feeling good today. Is this your favourite festival, or do you have one that is a top contender against Boomtown?
Do you know what? I think it used to be. For many years, Boomtown was my favourite festival because I thought it's one of the only festivals where you can properly have it, drum and bass music. And drum and bass is a huge, huge genre for me. It's like drum and bass and rock are my two favourite genres, really. So, and I don't really come across many festivals now in the rock scene where you can have it. I feel like all the bands that I used to like have kind of come and gone and they're no longer together. Whereas drum and bass music, what's great about that genre is you can play other people's songs. So, you know, the tunes keep being relived, you know?
Yeah.
They can keep being played by the DJs, the great songs of the drum and bass genre. Whereas in rock music, it's not like that. Bands die out.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So you can't hear those great songs.
Yeah, honouring of the original stuff. Absolutely.
Unless they play a cover, of course, and that's not the same.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, even new bands have to come up with new tunes that we're all going to love.
Yeah.
Or the genre kind of goes a bit funny for a few years. And I feel that we kind of are in that phase of rock. And I feel like we've been in that phase for a little while. But there's still good stuff coming out, but there's, you know, it's few and far between.
I feel like it does sort of come in waves, doesn't it? There's like peaks and troughs when it comes to original artists and rock music. Like we'll have a section of time where there's really good, powerful stuff coming out, and then stuff when it sort of slows down and there's not a lot happening.
Like at the moment, like the rock and metal scene has very gone down this almost like theatrical route. Like they've pushed more, which is great. It's absolutely, you know, whatever floats your boat. They've pushed more on the Heelung kind of like Viking vibes.
Yeah, it's a whole stage show. It's not just like this is our music. It's this is our music and our look and how we present ourselves and our message as well. personally, coming from a theatre background. I quite like that.
Yeah, I like
really
it too.
enjoy it.
I've seen the Heelong. They're absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
But I wouldn't necessarily listen to Heelong to get myself into like a let's have it kind of state, you know?
Yeah.
Because I used to love listening to Soulfly, Pantera, Metallica, and all these kind of bands that I grew up listening to in the new metal era, where there's not a lot of them about anymore.
No.
So that for me is why the metal and rock scene isn't what it used to be. But it just changes. It just kind of like, you know, converts into something else, you know.
Ebbs and flows, and there's got to be progression and changes in these things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it gets stagnant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Do you have a embarrassing or funny festival moment that you would share with me?
Do you know what? Yeah, I definitely do, like on stage moments, 100%. The one that just come to mind first off with Cam Cole, or just any in
Cam
general,
Cole,
personal life, or
any stage or personal festival experience that you think, oh my god, that was hilarious but awful.
Well, actually, with New Age Collective, my drum and bass band, we had this really irritating moment where we got this really, really cool slot, this really great gig in Elusive Festival. And this was last year, actually. And like, we didn't really have, we've got a bit of a following now, but like, we had nothing back then. And we just thought we'd go do some busking in London. And when we were out busking, this geezer comes up to us in the crowd and he was just like, fucking love you guys are amazing. I'm going to get you a gig in Elusive, trust me, I'm going to get you guys out there. And you just, you know, you meet so many wallies out in busking on the street.
Yeah.
You don't think anything of it. You just think like, oh, he's just another nutcase talking
whatever,
shit.
Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So I gave him my number and just like, all right, go on.
Yeah.
Anyways, got a call the next day and he was like, right, I'm getting you in Elusive. And I was like, really? He was like, yep, give me your email address, I'm sending you the tickets.
Oh my
and then
goodness.
it all just happened. So we got this amazing gig and it was on Planet Grunt stage, which is doing the Fool's Leap stage here in Boomtown. And I was like, fuck, this is this stage. I love this stage. This is so fucking cool. So it was like the opportunity of a fucking lifetime. And we weren't ready for it because we'd never played a gig before that wasn't on our own mixing desk, that wasn't with our own gear. Because we'd just done busking and we'd done stuff on our own stage. So I was like, right, we don't really have the time to figure out what our mix is. Let's just bring our mixing desk and just give them a feed. Yeah. Not knowing that if you put another mixer in front of a mixer that's already there, you feed all the channels into one. So it's like getting all of the lines of all the water lines from Boomtown and just shoving them into one tiny water line. Oh. So it would just burst that pipe. Yeah. So you have to, like, in order to stop the flow of water bursting the pipe, you basically would have to turn down the pressure. Right. So in the gig, they couldn't turn it up. They had to have it really quiet or else it distorted. Oh, no. So we got this opportunity of a lifetime and I'm there on stage and I'm like, why is it so fucking quiet?
It all just like.
And I'm trying to play. It's really quiet, and like fucking the part of the crowd liked it because they're like, well, we like the tunes, but we just can't hear the fucking music.
We're kind of into it, but we're not really sure if this is intentional or not.
I was so embarrassed, and like, if someone had just told me, by the way, don't do that. Yeah. That'd have been great, but no one told me. The sound guy didn't tell me. Like, I was just like, how does no one know? But how did I didn't know? That was the other question. Like, friggin'.
It's all learning, isn't it?
It
it's all absolutely a learning curve.
It is.
That is brilliant. I mean, I hope it was still a fun gig.
It was, but then I spent the rest of the day just like, fuck's sake, I could have blown them away and we could have just like, you know, probably skipped a couple of years of work, you know.
Wow. Oh, bless you. Well, I'm glad you mentioned New Age Collective because you and I have known each other for a long time now. Yeah. Met back in Brighton, I think like
so,
5 or 6 years ago.
During COVID,
back in the day, and I've always known you as the singer-songwriter, blues rock artist that is Cam Cole, his very own entity. But you have a new project now, haven't you?
Yeah,
which is super exciting. Tell me about it. Tell me about New Age Collective.
So, New Age Collective is almost like two things in a way. It's a drum and bass garage or like EDM fusion band with guitars and rock music. And it's also a crew of people who they all play the music. They're the band on stage, but they also run events and we own a sound system. And we used to put on free parties. That's where we came from. I used to run free parties up at Stonehenge and Equinox way before New Age Collective was even a thing. So it was always a thing that I always liked to do. And then when I got the crew together to then put on bigger parties and do a thing, I also had all these songs that I've been working on for years. I've been making mixes. in EDM music with guitars, and so I brought that to the crew and was like, should we form a band as well? And so when we do these parties, maybe the last show at the end of the event is our show, and it kind of is all inclusive with the stage and with the sound system. So yeah, that's kind of, and you know, it's been done before with EDM bands. They call themselves such and such sound system, or you know, the name of the band and then sound system. So they often have their own equipment and their own thing, you know.
Yeah, and you build all your own rigs and stuff as well, don't you? Like all of the stuff. I've seen you building lanterns, and you've got trailers with podiums on top and all sorts of crazy stuff. It's amazing. I love it. You guys are like this proper solid tribe, and it's not just music. It's a whole. I mean, it's a collective. And really creative. I really love it.
Well, we love festivals, and we all come from the festival scene, or like the free festival scene, which is free parties essentially.
Yeah.
And so we live for this, you know. So we love music, and we also love the decor of a party that kind of adds to the music and adds to the vibe.
It's a whole experience, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So we want to just create a world where people can step into to listen to music.
Yeah.
You know, to experience music and experience music shows.
Yeah.
We'd like to dedicate our lives to this.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
I love that. I love that dedication, man. And I feel like you're very, very dedicated to music. Like, it's, from what I've seen, it's everything you've done always. Like, love that for you. So, what was the first album you ever owned?
The first album I ever owned was, I think it was Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavoured Water.
Oh, such a good answer. Yes. Yes, man, that is awesome. So you work so much. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone work so hard as you. Like, I know I see a lot of hardworking people, but you're doing touring with your own stuff, creating music, putting on events, performing at festivals, working with New Age Collective. There's so much that you do. How the hell do you keep yourself grounded and prevent yourself from burning out within all of that?
Well, I get a couple of months a year where I have my own time. And I spend that time songwriting for me is like quite therapeutic. It's a little bit of space to myself in my own little room that I can just like, you know, I do spend some hours just doing nothing and like looking at a wall. And then I get bored of that, and then I'm like, right, I want to just like write stuff and make music, and then I if I can create something that I really vibe with, it's almost like it's a release, you know. And so I do that. I also have a lovely girlfriend who also forces me to go out sometimes and have dinner and things like that. So
she is amazing.
So she helps a lot with that, or else I probably would go pretty mental.
Yeah.
But I love working. I love what I do. Like I don't, you know, if it gets too much, then I can step back. I'm not signed to a label. I have my own label and I'm doing my own thing, so I can.
Yeah.
If need be, I can step back from time to time, but I don't really like to be honest with you. I get bored of stepping back. If I take a month off, I'm bored after a couple of weeks at best.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like you're the kind of person that enjoys creating and enjoys doing things and being constantly active.
Yeah. There's never like an end to the goal, really. It's just like, you know, I'm not going to just like, I don't know, have a hit record and be like, right, that's it. I'm going to go and sip martinis on the beach in Barbados, you know.
There's more to learn, isn't there? There's always like a next step or a next thing that you can be doing or creating. So it's an ever ongoing thing.
Yeah.
I love that. So what is it that motivates you to keep going? Is there anything in particular that you're like, oh, this is my driving force?
I don't know, really. I think it's mainly just the concept of just a really great show and a really great song. And back to the original, the first question you said, this kind of relates with it.
Yeah.
What kind of helps is the fact that I do so many different things, actually. So when I get bored of songwriting, I'll build something for the stage.
Yeah.
When I'm bored of building stuff, I'll go back to writing songs. And if I'm bored of that genre, then I go to drum and bass. And then I go back to rock, and like I'm just constantly moving it around.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's such an important thing as a creative, to have multiple different things that like excite you, because it gets to a point with one thing where you're just working on it for too much, and then you're kind of over it, and then you can move from thing to thing, like you say. It helps.
Important.
And I think it keeps the creative flow going as well.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got such different things, like Cam Cole and New Age Collective are so different and so separate, aren't they? Yeah. And it gives you two different projects to be working on and being inspired by constantly.
Yeah, and keeping my focus on them.
Yeah.
But like, I think what I want to achieve in terms of goals is like, you know, it takes time to get places with creative projects. It takes a lot of time. And when I was in my 20s, I was very frustrated about how long it takes. And I don't know what the goal is, but I guess I'd like to take this as far as I can in my lifetime, with all of my power, and with all of the time that I have allocated and all the energy I have allocated in my life. Because you never know if you're going to fall ill, or you never know if someone else is going to fall ill that's close to you, and you've got to give time to that. Or, you know, shit happens. Life it takes you, moves you places without necessarily you wanting it to go that way, but you have to do what you have to do. So however much time I get allocated, then I want to put as much as I can of that into these creative projects to see how far I can push them.
Yeah.
And how far I can take them to be and hope that that's my impact on humanity, you know?
Yeah. I love that. Inspiring stuff, buddy. Okay, last one. Tell me, what has been your most magical moment of this weekend at Boomtown?
Do you know what? I think it was watching Aphrodite.
Yeah.
On I think it was Aphrodite, yeah. And what was his name? Mickey Flynn, I think. I don't really, I've heard of those names before, but I went out jungle raving with a few good mates of mine. And I think that was probably it. Yeah,
just
being
good
with my
cheeky
mates.
jungle rave with the mates.
Yeah, with my mates.
Having it large.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing stuff, Cam. Thank you so much for taking the time out to chat to me. It's absolutely lush to have you, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you so much for joining me again for another episode. I really hope you enjoyed that little snapshot into the summer festival scene and my conversation with Cam. After we finished doing the interview, I turned the camera off and we ended up chatting for quite a while about society and mental health and a bunch of other much deeper conversations to the ones that we had already had. So next time I'm talking with someone, I'll be sure to leave the camera rolling so that I can share those points of view as well. But for now, I really enjoyed this episode and I love that it's a little bit more lighthearted than the things that I've put out so far. So I really hope you enjoyed it too. You can catch Cam Cole, The New Age Collective, and me all performing together this Saturday in London. It's the 11th of October and we're going to be performing for Cam's beer launch at Signature Brew in Black Horse Road. So if you want to see us all in one place together, come along to that this Saturday. I will put a link to the tickets in the description below. If you enjoy this podcast and you'd like to see it continue, you can now support my work via Patreon. So you can subscribe for as little as $5 a month, which is the price of a cup of coffee or a pint of Guinness. And that will help me be able to produce more content. I would love to continue creating and make space for an online community where we can all connect with each other. But in order to make that happen, I'm gonna need your help. So you can find the link to that below. It's patreon.com/OliviaLivewire. If you are signing up on an Apple phone, please do so via the internet browser on your phone rather than using the Patreon app, because unfortunately Apple take 30% if you use the app. So sign up via the browser on your Apple phone or on the Patreon app on an Android, patreon.com/OliviaLivewire, and any money that goes on there just goes towards me being able to continue to create this space and have these conversations. And any level of help that you're willing to subscribe would be so appreciated. I hope you're all staying warm and cozy as these autumn nights get longer and longer. Thank you again so much for joining me. I will see you next time. Love, love.
What about that? Right. I don't know. I don't actually see the pillow. Situation's under control, don't worry.
We got this. Oh, because I'm blocking his light. Shit, let me just shuffle back. Hello, mate. Are we good? Are we good?
You can now support me via the Patreon.